Hello, Internet, and you fine folks, wild animals, and all the darkest corners of the web. Thanks for checking it out, tuning in. You know what I mean. What do we have this week? I can tell you, didn't really plan much, but it's going to automatically be better than last week, which I should almost apologize for. I realize probably not that much humor involved in that one. Maybe because of the first part where I mentioned about somebody who was close to me. That part. All right. Well, let's get into things. I did write a couple notes, but first maybe apologize for my sort of goofy, Amish-inspired facial trim here. If I'm sitting around and I'm not doing anything, my hands, they get antsy. So that explains that. Moving on, as well as maybe, I don't know, do I have anything else to sort of bother with? No, I remembered to sit on a pillow 2 weeks in a row. Okay, I think that's what I was going to say. All right, in terms of topics to talk about, I'm trying to think what will be the greatest. Well, I was, looking forward to sort of writing history again by making an episode. This episode is what I mean, or whatever, and then thereby erasing the last one. So putting the past behind me is what I mean. And I came up with maybe what is our priorities of life. Well, I can't tell you that. I don't write stupid books, arguably stupid books, on how to live life. I guess even though I do sort of read them a little bit too, I mean, at least back in the day, it's not like I was reading too many. I know there was more of a stigma against, a stigma on, I don't know how to use the English language, a stigma about reading self-help back in the day. I'm sure much of it has gone away, but I've probably read a couple. I don't know, to list a couple, because since I'll never do this again. How to Win Friends and Influence People. Now, I don't know. I think I read that after I read books that were recommended by a mutual pal at the time. A guy who still seems to be a bit of a thorn in the side in my life. I kid. It's not that bad. Those books were about those best-selling books. I always start off by calling them best-selling because it is what they are. About the book called The Game. All right. I'm not sure I mentioned this before, so I think it might be interesting to finally bring it up. And he mentions a guy in that book, and I read his book as well. And I probably read another one from the same author, Neil Strauss or something, as well. And then, as I already mentioned, How to Win Friends. If you just put a period on the end of it right there, then it makes more sense. I was looking to find a better way to navigate the world. Where was I going? I was loading up my brain with something to talk about yesterday, and we were going to do priorities for us as individuals. If you need like a sort of a segue, I suppose I was talking to my sister about this, and I was going to call, okay. Can't call anybody names anymore. This is a one-take shot sort of a thing. Polite names, if you will. Fun, arguably adorable names, but Maybe not. And she was saying that the first couple items applies to, principles in her life, or however you want to put it. Not to get into this too much, but I wanted to add what is the next most important thing in terms of, food and water and sleep. Sleep being first. It's kind of obvious, is it not? How to keep your kids in a decent mood most of the time. That would be the title of this book, I guess. And then you have, after that, what do we have? What's the next most important thing? Well, at least in my opinion, and again, basing this off of practicality, personal experience, I'm going to go with, entertainment is up there. Maybe entertainment? I don't know. And then exercise. Maybe entertainment falls way down where I put hobbies, which is at the end of this maybe 5-point list or something. I'm just going to go off what I was going to say, the original. So sleep, food, water, exercise. And then I'm thinking, without looking at the 2 notes that I wrote down nearby, exercise, attention, hobbies. Does that do it? After exercise, don't we all need a little one-on-one sort of with the rest of the human species? Is that what we are? Or I suppose you can get it from your pet, your animal, I suppose. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know. Was there supposed to be a joke here? There definitely was. Was there? No, there wasn't a joke there. So I don't know what I'm doing, but trying to, I don't know, jot down stuff in my vlog here. Did I even say welcome to the program or whatever? Okay. What else did I want to talk about? I didn't even think of masturbation. There you go. Bam. There's the joke. Poorly laid out. The second thing I would have loved to talk about, and I will reference my notes real quickly here. The segment we previously do, which is, we previously did last week. The segment we on occasion do, which I'd like to bring back, our segment called What Happened Last Week, per se. And all it is a little bit of a filler. I didn't mention last week probably that I've been tuned into other, I don't know, YouTube channels about comedy drama. I don't want to, definitely trying to avoid this week, but I just wanted to give an honorable mention to a show I watch a little bit, and it's more recently. This might not even have necessarily applied last week, but there's a lot of viewers or subscribers, and it's called Joke World. I think they mostly, the guy and whoever he's with perhaps, mostly keeps it above water, and that's sort of, I only go out and feel like I have to publicly comment on some of this stuff because it seems to go below water or something. I don't know. There's no need to be a little bit of a drama show. The whole reason why I think I can do this, constantly crank out 15-minute videos every week, is because I don't have much drama. Speaking of drama, but then I wanted to go somewhere with this. That person I mentioned last week in the scenario that I mentioned goes way back to one of my earlier episodes, our earlier episodes here. That is just me and whoever's watching, mostly me, was involved in sort of, just gonna say showing up unplanned, which is probably what I said earlier, at my residency. And I don't remember if I talked about it too much last week. I probably talked about it more than that before, so I'm not going to talk about it again. But there you go. A lot of drama removed from my life, and, hence this vlog being a little more uppity, I guess, than last week, perhaps. Maybe? I don't know. I also had a decent showing, if we're just talking about, what was it? Attention, exercise, and then attention, or just more like mingling with the public. I'm not talking about my work life. That went sort of well this week, and so I'm hoping, how's everybody doing, and that you're doing good. Is this, you might have heard that as all these rinky dinks. This is a nail clipper that you heard that, and it clinked up against a personal grooming small pair of scissors here. Ooh, okay. Like I said, if it gets boring, we will tour my room. Which I do not want to do. So where was I going with all this? I remember wanting to pick off from when I mentioned that this show, Joke World, has many subscribers. Maybe brave for me to say, but I don't particularly not want to give credit to the people who haven't subscribed. So if there's a lot of people, I don't dive into the statistics. I'm sure you could look into them, but to all the people that are thinking about subscribing, which has got to be maybe definitely a handful or less, and who haven't, I want to give you your props right now. It's something that I certainly don't do enough of, if I've ever even done before. But there are cool people, and generally those people are down to get dweeby and nerdy, no matter how old they are. And there are cool people, and those people can just be sort of hands off, a little standoffish, a little bit of a cool club thing. And I tend to respect them both, generally speaking, the latter group being the younger crowd. But it doesn't matter. That's not what I would assume of anybody. I'm just saying that this is the internet. There's a whole world out there, whole bunch of different people and stuff. Everybody's, for the most part, in probably the former category, per se, maybe, It feels like this world... Okay, I don't want to check the time, but before I go... It feels like this world has come to a giant, like we've all just sort of hit the end of the road. The world has sort of won. We've won. We all won. So to the extent that we're not killing ourselves, I suppose, off too much, I suppose, I've talked about this briefly earlier in the week or last week or something with a stranger, but he was paying me and I was paying him, or whatever, however that goes. He was paying me, and so I don't mind all of the sort of, I want to be this and I want to do that stuff. For the most part, it doesn't take a lot of, like, why bring up some goofy theoretical, like I did at the top of the show, theoretical list of priorities about navigating life, when frankly, for the most part, if you live in a semi-decent neighborhood, you will live for a long time in this world. I know there's probably a lot of people that I'm maybe 30% of the chunk of the worldwide population that doesn't share that same reality per se, but maybe the majority of us, I don't know. Am I being too optimistic? Anyway, so yeah, I don't know. I guess that's it. Is there any humor in there? Certainly not. Maybe I could pull some, but I'm not as comfortable or in a great mood as I would love to be. It's getting about that. You know what? I shouldn't even mention. I just ate 3 cookies from Subway, so that's gonna give you a sugar crash. Not a place I go to very often. Just quit paying too much attention, if if necessary, that is. Okay, all right. It's been fun, and it just wasn't just that I ate it with a meal, but yeah, it's just a lot of for the digestive. Okay, I had fun while it lasted. It's too late. I should have left earlier. Oh, see you guys next week. Ciao. Toodles.